What I did not expect was that a high income or relatively high income compared to where I was coming from as a resident was now going to lead to automatic wealth. That was disappointing. I wish somebody had told me about it, but nobody did.
Welcome to the MoneyFitMD show. I'm Dr. Latifat, the founder of MoneyFitMD.
We want to change the narrative where women physicians use. My job is to let you know that's gonna be. I have to surround myself with people that are doing crazy. I read this recent article or saw the results of a survey that was so heartbreaking that I had to do a video about it. According to the survey that was done by a staffing company, they reported that in the study and the survey that they did, 62% of clinicians that they surveyed, 62% were living paycheck to paycheck. 62%. 62%. And what that means is that literally, if you have a group of like 3 clinicians, about 2 of them in this survey may report living paycheck to paycheck. So if you're working crazy hard, it feels like you're working like a horse, but you're living like a pauper, just know that you're not alone. But in this video, I want to show you in 4 ways and 4 moves that you can make that can start to help you get some relief right now. Not waiting till forever, but right now. And at the end of this video, I'm going to share 2 resources that you can have access to starting today that I truly, truly believe will help you when it comes to stopping this pattern and the cycle of earning what feels like a dream come true for many people and many families, but you're not seeing the results that you expect that it should show. I'm Dr. Latifat. I'm a physician. I'm a mama of 3 and also the founder of MoneyFitMD. This is a platform that's 100% committed to helping physicians have more money, create wealth, live richly, and really be able to live life and practice medicine on their terms. You may be wondering how I know and why I feel such pain when it comes to this. Well, it's because it was my story too. For many, many years, I did not know anything about money. Like many physicians, I just wanted to go into medicine and do good things in the world. And that is a great thing. However, what I did not expect was that a high income or relatively high income compared to where I was coming from as a resident was now going to lead to automatic wealth. That was disappointing. I wish somebody had told me about it, but nobody did. So essentially took years of like, oh my goodness, what's happening here? For me to realize that I had to take ownership of my own education. I had to take ownership of my own financial management. I wish somebody was gonna save me. I wish that I would wake up one day and my student loans would be poof, disappeared. Well, if you did PSLF, that may have happened to you, and lucky you. I'm happy for you. I celebrate you. But when I was doing my own process, it was before PSLF became, so globally known, I guess global or nationally known, because there were some laws that were passed that actually did help many more people qualify for loan forgiveness. And that I just loved hearing those stories. I did not benefit from it, but I celebrate everybody that did. But the way that I had to understand my finances so that I could change the narrative for my family was some of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. My transition, the moment that I realized that something had to change was when towards the end of my fellowship, I literally had this vision of what my future was going to look like. And as someone whose entire goal was to practice medicine in a way that was ethical, be able to take care of my patients, I realized that if nothing changed, if I continued to think that somebody else was going to be responsible for my finances, that nothing was going to change, and my future was on a straight and narrow path to burnout. Right? If you're in healthcare, you definitely understand this. And if you're a physician, you may be experiencing burnout yourself, or you've gone through burnout, or maybe you recently finished training and you're like, Dr. Latifah, I want to make sure that my future does not end. I don't want to become the stats. I don't want to become one of the physicians that loses their life in medicine, loses their relationships in medicine, or heads towards burnout, which just sucks. So the video I'm going to make today, he's going to help you, especially again, if you're someone that you're earning money, you're earning like $20,000 a month, $30,000 a month, $40,000 a month, and like the money is coming in, but it does not feel like it should feel. And to be honest with you, many of the women that I end up serving, They're hardworking, badass women physicians that are working crazy hard. Some of them are the first in their families to build wealth. Some of them are the first in their family to think about like earning the amount of money that they're earning. So imagine earning what feels like a dream come true. And you're like, I'm not even spending like crazy, but it does not feel like I thought I was going to feel. Well, welcome to the land of lack of financial education geared towards physicians. But that's what we're changing. And for me, when I started my journey, I was like, okay, I am hoping that the education that's out there is going to be the solution to the problem. Except so much of them was like filled with shame, judgment, and all of that stuff. And literally, it was almost like the job of the financial education was to repel me from doing money. And so I had to figure out my own system. And so I want to talk to you in English without any spreadsheets, without any fancy calculators on how you can start to change things starting to now. So if you're excited, I want you to clap wherever you are and say, I am ready. If you're watching this on YouTube, feel free to type I'm ready in the chat box. And if you're watching or listening on the podcast while you drive, because I know we are busy women physicians. So many of you guys, maybe this is the only time you even have to listen to anything is during your commute. I want to say, you know what? I celebrate you. The fact that you're spending time to listen to this podcast means that you are committed to changing things. So listen to the 4 steps that I'm going to share. 4 moves. There's lots more than that, but I like to keep things simple. And I truly, truly believe that if you take some of the things that I'm sharing on this video today and you implement it, you're going to be on your journey and on your way to literally transforming your finances. And so I'm ready. If you're ready, just say, I'm ready wherever you are. Some of y'all know, like Latifah, like, almost hallucinated. How does she know I'm saying I'm ready? Just say, I am ready wherever you are. All right, fantastic. So here's what I'm going to talk about today. So if you think about it, let's just keep it really basic, really high level. If you're looking at your finances and you're like, I'm earning money, but I don't know where it's going, I'm waiting. At the end of the month, I find myself starting to like hold my breath, almost hyperventilate, starting to like, okay, hopefully no other bills come in. Hopefully no other expenses come in, right? If that's you, it is probably because your system is wired in a way that your system has been programmed in a way that is that paycheck to paycheck, where once the check loads into your account, like, whew, hallelujah, I'm good now. But like that last week before the next check comes in, you are already stressed out. You are already stressed out. You may be like cranky at home. You may be taking that on your kids. You're like, this is the life that I want to live. I have, the relationship of my dream. I'm grateful that I get to mother this kids or kid or, all this other stuff. But then you're like, on paper, it looks good. But the reality of it is you don't feel like you think it's going to feel, right? And you can't tell many people about it. I mean, that was my experience. And honestly, that's why I ended up starting our community for women physicians, where we have a free Facebook group for women physicians that are building a financial legacy. But we also have a money community for women physicians, a paid money coaching community for women that are ready to go all in into building the financial life of their dream. Because I was like, it's impossible for me to be the only person that felt this way. I mean, now it's been years later and things are completely different, which I'm so grateful for. But if I can do it without having me as a coach, if I can do it, although it did take me many years, what I found is like with a coach, with a community, people are starting to make changes at a pace that is faster than I did. And that is my hope for you, that you find your community. If it's not my community, but there's power in community, the right community though. You don't want to go to any communities where they're like, you're stupid for not knowing that. How dare you not know that? And maybe you're the one talking to yourself like that, and you need to just stop it. Okay, so 2 things that we can target when it comes to your numbers, when it comes to earning, working like a horse, but feeling like a pauper. So we'll just keep it very, very basic, right? Because I like simple. Listen, you're smart, I'm smart. We don't have to impress anybody, but the most important thing is like, how can we make this simple so that we can do it and we can move on with the rest of our lives, right? So the first thing you can think about is your income, right? You can target the income and you can target the spending. Okay. And here's what I'm going to say. As someone that doesn't like spending too much time talking about budgeting, because I don't like budgeting. I did not like budgeting. I don't like budgeting. I would not like budgeting. And I'm doing great. But you have to tell your money where to go. So it's not a matter of like trying to like fit in a box, but you have to figure out a way that is going to make sense based on the things that are valuable to you. So I don't like to talk too much about budgeting because I think that too many financial education platforms geared towards women spend too much time talking about spending. And I'm like, spending is important, but we need to talk about investing. So today, it is a huge sacrifice. It is a evidence of how much I love y'all that I'm talking about spending and not investing, because investing is what I actually love talking about, because investing is what actually accelerates your growth. It helps you separate your time from money. It helps your, it's like taking a flight to New York versus like walking to New York. Huge difference. Investing's like taking a flight. I like it, right? It's more savvy. It's more prudent. It's more badass. All right. But for today, just because I love you guys, I'm going to talk about this. And by the way, the goal of this is to keep it simple, high level, super high level. If you want more details, like the step by step, there is a program that I have that I will talk to you at the end so that you can access that if that's something you're interested in. And it has literally transformed like hundreds and hundreds of lives. So stay to the end. You'll be sure to hear more about that. So we're talking about income and we're talking about spending. Here's what people tend to tell me, Latifa, I know that when I look at my spending, I look at the categories and, it's like food, kids, transportation, maybe travel, maybe restaurant, like nothing that seems crazy and over the top, nothing that feels like splurgy to you, right? You're like, maybe I do Instacart because I'm working so much, but nothing that's like, you're not throwing ten thousands of dollars down the drain, but it feels like it's already down the drain. And what I find is that many times people look at the categories of their spending, but they don't look at the quantity and the qualitative part of their spending. What do I mean by that? So if you're thinking, my income is coming in and it's going out and I don't know where it's going, it's obviously going somewhere. And you're going to have to be patient in order to figure that out, because if you don't take the time to look at it, you're always going to feel like it's going somewhere and you're not going to know where it's going. So what I find is that most people have shame talking about this part, about the spending, where their money's going, but everybody and their mama wants to talk about the income. And income is important, but I will tell you, you have to be really, really careful. As much as I want you to earn more, and it's going to be part of what I talk about today, the problem with this is if you focus only on the income, but not on the spending, what ends up happening is that you are going to keep earning and it's going to feel the same way. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if you earn $1 million, you can still live paycheck to paycheck. You can. And I'm sure if I looked up the data right now, you will see that a significant number of people that earn seven figures per year are still living paycheck to paycheck. There's a reason why so many lottery winners end up being broke, because no one has taught them that income only, infusion of income only, is not the solution to the problem, right? Those that know it will have a different outcome. Those that don't know it will not have a different outcome. So when it comes to spending, again, zero judgment, zero shaming. Most of my women are not like throwing money off the table, like out the window. But what is happening is that many times you have to understand that your thought process, your thinking is what got you here. So in order for things to change, you're going to need to have like a different kind of thinking in order for things to change, right? So for example, you're looking at your spending and you're like, well, it's just basic stuff. It's just normal stuff. It doesn't feel over the top. That thought process is why things have not changed. So if you want things to change, you're going to have to like stop that thought process, that thought pattern. And instead of saying that over and over and over again, then you want to ask yourself, how can I figure out what is going on? Where's my money going? So the first part of the question is you want to ask yourself is find out where your money is going. Where is it going? Where is it going? Okay. How much is going there? So that's the first move. Where is it going and how much is going there? Where is it going and how much is going there? Okay. And in order to be able to do something, then you're going to have to like cut back, cut down from where it is going so that you can start to have some of your money back. So that's our number one move. Sorry, I'm pretty bad when it comes to writing on the board, but I do like writing on the board. So bear with me. So at some point, you're going to have to look at where this money is going and ask yourself, how can I cut down from, if not the number of things that it's going to, but like how much is actually going into those things? So for example, maybe someone that spends like, I don't know, $5,000 on groceries. Ask yourself, how can I cut down without decreasing the quality or the value that I'm getting? Right? It may mean going from Whole Foods to Trader Joe's, right? I do Trader Joe's. I love Costco. I probably should like. By the way, if you know anybody that can interested in brand ambassadorship for Costco or Trader Joe's, Paycheck girl off, because I talk about those two places all the time. It's about time they started paying me for talking about them so much. But I love them so much. That's a problem, right? They do great work, and it's a pleasure to support them. So you're gonna have to ask yourself that question and cut down what's not adding value to your life. Like literally, it doesn't. Honestly, you will be surprised that the quality of your life is not going to be affected, because if you're cutting down on things that's not adding increased value to your life. It's like I can eat a cupcake without the frosting. The frosting doesn't add to the quality of the cupcakes that I enjoy. So think about it that way. How can you not cut down in terms of like frugality and all of that stuff, like pinching pennies? We don't have time for that. But in terms of like, what am I spending my money on that's actually not adding value in a way that makes sense for my life? And you can cut that down. So that's step one. Cut down what's not adding value to your life. And even if it's adding value, cut down without necessarily compromising the value of the return that you're getting. So that's number one. Number two is this. It's also part of spending, so I'll call this number one. Number two is pay yourself first. One of my clients said, this is funny. Well, pay yourself first. I was trying to explain this to one of my clients years ago. She's like, oh, you need to pay your first. I'm like, yeah, pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. And what does that mean? Many times when people talk about the fact that okay, they're earning money, but they feel like a pauper, many times they're not doing things like investing, right? They're not growing their money. They're not maybe saving for emergency funds. And when I think about paying yourself first is like the whole idea behind that is paying your future self first. So what is Latifa going to need in 3 months? What is Latifa going to need in 6 months? What's Latifa going to need in 80 years? Right? My goal is to do that first so that, especially if I hate budgeting, I can pay myself first and then spend the rest. That way, your money is actually done what you wanted it to do. So there's no guilt, there's no shame. You're paying yourself first. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. If you're watching this on YouTube, I want you to type that in here. Pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. Literally, that's the best thing you can do for your life is to pay your future self first. And if you do that, you may never need to budget ever again, or even be so like, because you spend what you have. And try not to spend like your credit card. You know, if you're going to spend it, pay it off. If you cannot pay it off, then that means like you need to like really focus on this part. Okay. And then, so those are the two steps. If you literally cut down by asking yourself, where is it going? How much is going there? And follow the stuff that I told you earlier, you will literally, I've had clients that were able to find like $5,000 just by doing that. In fact, one of them found money that she did not even know. I mean, not even one, multiple people, right? Because again, one, we don't pay attention because we're so busy, we don't have time and all this stuff. But what that means though is there are literally people that are praying. Imagine that. I picture people praying and saying, God, please don't let her pay attention to her finances so that she doesn't know that she's paying me $1,000 for kids' activities that she hasn't used since the pandemic, that she's automating payment for things that she's never even used ever before. She's paying for a gym membership. She's hoping she will get to, but she hasn't used in 4 years. And I'm like, ha ha ha, I got you. You may be praying, but my prayer is more potent. So I'm about to find where my money's going and bring it in, bring it in, bring it in, bring it in. So pay yourself. Number one, cut down on things that's not adding value without compromising on the value and the satisfaction and the joy you're getting. Pay yourself first. And then when it comes to income, I'm going to just say two things because, again, this video is 4 moves. Number one is ask for more. Ask for more. Okay. But remember, if you ask for more and you're doing this, you're not changing anything here. It's going to literally take you 3 months. And within 3 months, you're going to feel like nothing changed. Because if earning more money only is a solution to the problem, when you went from being a fellow or resident to being an attendant, you should be like balling, right? But you felt like you were balling for a couple of months. And then after that, you're like, what happened? What happened? I thought this was a lot of money. And guys, I did a video that I'm going to have my team include here, which talks about look through how easy like how much it does not take a lot. That's like a lot of negative. How easy it is to live paycheck to paycheck as a physician. It doesn't take a lot. So I'm going to make sure they include the link here so that you can watch that video. If you're on the podcast, check the show notes. We'll make sure we have it there so that you can go watch that as well and learn how you can start to take charge of your finances. Okay. So number one thing when it comes to income, which is our third step is ask for more. What do I mean by ask for more? Based on data, women physicians are more likely to be underpaid. God help you, if you're black, if you're brown, you're in trouble, right? But we're changing some of that by asking for, for payment for the value we're giving. We're giving great value. You're a physician. Data actually shows that, not to generalize, because I don't believe that male physicians are bad, but if you look at the data, when it comes to surgery, for example, women tend to have better outcomes, right? Again, does not mean that your male surgeon is bad. I'm not saying that. I mean, fantastic surgeons, but I'm just telling you that based on data, if you're like, oh, maybe their outcomes are worse, that's why they're getting paid less. No, it is not that. It is not that. Unfortunately, we live in a society that's very biased. So, and also women tend to not ask because we're told that when you ask, you're greedy. You're greedy. We think about everybody else and their mama. We're like, I don't know if it's a good time economically. When is it ever going to be a good time economically, really, for them to stop underpaying women physicians? I'd like to know what year that would be so I can put that on my calendar. And then at that date, we'll be able to call and say, bling, bling. No, it ain't going to happen unless we ask. So, number one is if you're an employed physician, make sure that you're getting paid what you should be getting paid. And many times you will be told that you're not being underpaid. You will be told that, oh, don't worry about it. Here it's transparent. Bullcrap. I've had a physician who works in the same department of as her spouse, same, tax, whatever classification. They commute to work. They're W-2, same FTE. And she was like, why is my paycheck looking different? She asked them, and guess what? They're like, oh, it was a mistake. I had a GI doctor who found out that she was getting paid $80,000 less per year than her male counterpart that started working after her. Do you know the reason why she was told? Do you know the reason? Come closer. Yeah, I know. Ignore my nails. Come closer. Do you know the reason? They said it was because she did not ask. She did not ask. One of my clients recently, after she joined our program, after she learned how to negotiate, how to ask for what she wanted, guess how much increase in income she got? $100,000 increase per year. If all you do is invest that difference, look at what difference it would make in your nest egg. In 10 years, that's not $1 million. With compounding, that's way lot more money, right? And so, for her, she paid to get into our community. She learned how to negotiate. She got the accountability. She got the coaching she needed to get through like the underlying stuff that was keeping her back. And guess what happened? She got paid 100K more per year. She's in the process of getting her first short-term rental right now. I like it when women make money. I love it when doctors build wealth because when your doctor is practicing medicine by choice, they show up differently. They show up differently. Their energy is different. They're here because they want to, not because they have to. And that is a gift, not just for the doctor, it's a gift to the community. So, number one, when it comes to your income, which is our step 3, is you want to ask for more. Whether you're employed, whether you own your business, many times physicians, especially women physicians, we undervalue what we charge in, right? Again, that same thought, I'm greedy, plays in your head. And now you end up, because of those thoughts, you end up being broke, working hard, feel like a pauper, because you may find out that your colleagues are getting paid $80,000 more. All right. And then the last but not the least is go make more. Go make more. How do you make more? So this one is really important. So many physicians, we have this fallacy in our head that we have achieved the highest level of education we're ever going to get. And we've made that mean that we cannot acquire new skills. Just like let's think about it. Why would you think that who you are at age 35 is the most skilled you should ever be? Like seriously, I cannot tell you how many skills I've learned over the last couple of years. And everything we talked about here is a skill that you can learn. It's learnable. It doesn't take a long time. Literally, you can master all of this and more in like 3 months. Literally, you can know what you need to know to be able to secure your financial future, to be able to take care of your kids when it comes to like their educational funds. You can learn all of that in less than 3 months. I'll talk about that in a little bit. So the last one there is go make more. How do you make more? Like we make this so complicated because we're already working like a horse. So when someone said go make more, you assume it means I'm gonna like have to ride harder. And you're like, I barely have any blood cells left. I barely have any more oxygen left. How am I supposed to go work harder when I'm already working hard. But it's not about working harder. Sometimes it's about working different, smarter, different, right? So how do you go make more? By learning other skills, right? Learning other skills. Investment is a skill, right? I teach women physicians how to know money, how to make more money, how to grow their net worth without exchanging more time for money. That's a skill that I learned. It took time and I'm continuing to grow that skill, but you can learn it, right? It doesn't happen overnight, but you can learn the skill of podcasting. If you grow your audience, you can start to earn meaningful money through that. Right. One of the things that I did, these are skills. I used to think I was a bad writer, but now I have two books that I've written. This is one of them, The Power to Choose, Done with Broke. These are available on Amazon.com. You can literally get your copy right now today. But these are things that they give value and they earn money, right? So the way you make more is by finding ways to give value so that you can earn more money. I'm like putting this up like giving value, earn money, give value, earn money, give value, earn money. And remember that value is in the eyes of the beholder. Value is not from your perspective, it's from the perspective of the people that are going to pay you, right? So, how can you learn skills that can help you make more money? Real estate is a skill, running business is a skill, buying business is a skill, right? All of that stuff. And yes, it doesn't take as much as our education, and it's crazy how much you can learn while driving. Everything that I know when it comes to business, I've learned over the last 5 years. And if you don't know my story, I was not someone that wanted to be an entrepreneur. I did not want to be on video like this. I did not want to have a podcast, none of that. But the only reason why I chose to do this was because at the beginning of the pandemic, everybody and their mama were stressed out about money. Physicians were getting fired. Nurses were getting fired. They're like, we don't know where if our paycheck is secure, right? And I had no worry about money. Why? Because I had to learn how to take the income that I was earning, do the things that I'm teaching you guys to do, grow my finances so I don't have to worry about my retirement. I don't have to worry about my, kids' education because they are taken care of. And in fact, a couple years ago, well, not a couple years ago, we came back last year, took a year off, traveled the world with my family, quit medicine for a year. Now I'm back to practicing medicine on my terms because I truly, truly love medicine. And when your doctor loves medicine, it shows. And yes, it's not our fault that we burn out. But you know what? We're tired of waiting for the systems to come rescue us. We're just going to do our part and rescue ourselves. So the way we do that is by equipping ourselves financially so that we have the power to choose, right? We have the power to choose. So those are the four moves that I want to talk about. Number one is cut down on spending, but specifically look for the value is really important, right? You don't want to cut down on the things that add value to your life. Like I would never cut down on coaching. I will not. I will not cut down on level of childcare. I will not cut down on a level of giving, right? But there are many other things that don't add value to my life that I can cut off or decrease the amount that I spend on there. So number one is that. Number two is pay your future self first. You know what I'm talking about now when it comes to paying your future self first. Number three is ask for more. Whether you sell a product, whether you're W-2, whether you own your own practice, whether you own businesses, like how can you ask for more from the people that are paying you? Because if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you're a great deal, that you are an asset to the people that you serve, the people that you work with, right? So how can you ask for more? Because again, considering the fact that women physicians, we tend to negotiate less, we're paid less, they give us less money, it's annoying. All right. Am I angry? I don't know. I get pissed off about the stuff. And then the last one is go make more by learning skills that add value. When you do that, guys, shoot, it doesn't happen overnight. But this happens a little bit faster. This happens faster. This takes a little bit more time. But if you do this literally 6 months from now, 12 months from now, your life would literally be changed. I know I covered a lot of stuff in a short amount of time, but there's a lot more that I can teach you about this. But if you want to know the step by steps, if you want to learn from a place where I literally go through this and take you through the actionable and also include some of the worksheets that I have personally used and hundreds of other doctors I've used to change their finances, what I'm going to recommend that you do is you can go to this website, moneyfitmd.com/DWB, that's done with broke, DWB. This is a course that I created. It's DIY course, self-paced. You get access to it for 6 months, and literally you can watch it twice within that time. And what it does, it literally takes you through how you as a woman physician can turn the six-figure income you're currently earning into more freedom, so that you don't have to your um retirement becomes secure. You start to grow a nest egg for your family. But also when it comes to things like, how do I take care of my kids' educational expenses? How do I make sure that I don't have to choose between securing my retirement and my kids' financial future? All of that stuff is taught in there. It literally can change your life. This is something that I could easily sell for $5,000, to be honest with you, because the return on investment on this course is ridiculous. Because when you think about it, what is the benefit of you stopping to stop working like a horse? What is the benefit of you being able to be more physically, mentally, emotionally present with your loved ones? What is the significance of you being able to sleep better at night? But even more practically, what is the significance of you not worrying about what your next, whether a bill is coming in? Because now you're like, oh my goodness, I have more money. In fact, I remember I interviewed one of the women that I've used the same resource, and she was laughing when she was sharing this. She said, the interesting thing was my income didn't change first, but I started to do more with my money. I started investing with my money. We bought a house. What else did she do? She stopped taking calls that she did not want to take, and she started laughing. She's like, "Oh my goodness, it's like it was like magic." That's what she said. I'm not saying it's magic. You have to put this into work, but those were her words. And the reason why it's magic was because she learned it, she put it into work, and she got the result. And that's how magic happens. Magic doesn't happen by you just like, throwing stuff in the air like you don't care. Magic happens because you learned, you took actions, and you got the result. So we'll make sure we'll put the link here, moneyfitmd.com/done with broke. And the number two way that you can get help right now, I showed that earlier on, but I've written two books that are Amazon bestsellers. One of them is right here in my hands called The Power to Choose. And the other one feels like, something that walked away. I'm not sure where it went to, but the other one is called Down with Broke. And if you go on Amazon, you can put in my name, Latifat Akintade, or you can put in Down with Broke, and you'll be able to get those books. If you know any physicians, your doctor, your neighbor, your friend, the residents you work with, the fellows you work with, these two gifts are gifts that will keep on giving. So you can literally go there for less than $40 total, give them a gift that will literally, the return on that investment will probably be infinite. So check them out. We'll make sure we have the link here so that you can find it easily without stressing out. But more importantly, this is the important thing, guys. Your life matters, your energy matters. I wish you were gonna be here for a long time, but as forever, like to like 500 years old, but we're not going to be. And the bottom line is this: the time that we're missing out from being present with our lives, there's a huge cost to it. We know that chronic stress, including from finances, can have such significant negative impact. We also know that one of the top reasons why people have relational stress and divorce is finances. So the impact of not changing things, the impact of continuing to ride hard like a horse and live like a pauper, it is significant. And it's costing not just you, but it's costing those that you love. So my question to you is this: when do you want to change? What are you waiting for? I hope this video has helped you. If you've learned something at all from this, make sure you copy the link and share it with those in your life. Share it with your residents, your fellows, your colleagues. Share it in your Facebook group. Share it in your emails, whatever. Like, just get it everywhere, because we're done with women physicians struggling when it comes to money. And one of our goals, our primary goal in MoneyFitMD, is we want to make a dent. We want physicians to be known for being good at money. We want women physicians' cortisol level to go down to a regular level. We don't want it all the way down. We want it to not be so crazy up. But we also want to change the narrative around suicide, around burnout, around divorce. And it's possible. So I hope this has been helpful. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like and you subscribe, because that really does help more people see us. And that may be the only thank you that you're able to give me, but I do appreciate it. And if you listen on the podcast, don't forget to leave us a review. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next episode, and click below to see what next you can watch from our video.